Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Virginia, and today we are back in the fall swing of things. It is another hot one out this weekend, so I am mentally in the fall mode. I am just so ready for the cooler weather and all of the fun fall colors. So starting off, I'm going to actually show you how to transform an Easter wood piece from the Dollar Tree into this adorable scarecrow. So if you have any of the wood carrots from the Dollar Tree, I think even Hobby Lobby sold these, we are going to transform it into the scarecrow. I started off by painting the base of the carrot brown and then flipping it over because we're basically going to be using the carrot upside down. I found some of this cute orange gingham fabric. That's going to be kind of like the top or the scarf of this scarecrow. I hot glued that down and then went in with my scissors to trim everything. I'm using some of this tan fleece fabric for the hat of my scarecrow. I just bunched it at the top after folding it using a clear elastic hair tie, and I'm placing this down over my scarecrow and then kind of figuring out how long I want it. I trimmed it a tiny bit because I wanted to have enough room to paint a face, and then I hot glued that down. Using a little bit of burlap, I made a patch for my scarecrow's hat, making sure to pull off those ends of the burlap so you get the nice frays. And then I went in with some black paint. Usually I would love to use my black paint markers, but still haven't moved in to my house yet, so living out of moving boxes. So I used the paintbrush to do this. You have to be a little bit more careful. It's definitely easier if you were to use a Sharpie or a paint pen, but I still made it work. And then I used one of these little wood slices for his nose. Using the exact same type of fabric that I used for the scarf of our scarecrow, I wanted to add a little bit of color up there at the top of his hat, so I put a strip of that down there. The scarecrow, of course, has got to be full of some straw, so I pulled back the brim of his hat just for a second so I could lay down some of this straw. And then once I had all the straw laid down exactly how I wanted it before I started giving my scarecrow a full haircut there, I just flipped it back down and I did add a little bit of hot glue because, of course, the straw was getting a little bit hard to get the fabric to move back down, so a little bit of hot glue just did the trick. Of course, there is hair coming out of our scarecrow's hat as well, so I trimmed down the top of his hat and then opened it up a little and stuck down some straw. I added a tiny bit of hot glue just to make sure everything didn't move around, but for the most part, because I stuck the straw down where the elastic part was, that also held it together. I needed a little bit more embellishment on my scarecrow, so I wanted to make a bow tie. I grabbed some of this ribbon, pinched it in the center, of course, added some more straw because that's kind of the theme of the scarecrow. He is just bursting out with straw, and then it tied everything together with a little jute knot. The final touch was adding some white to my scarecrow's eyes to really make him come alive. I think the theme for a lot of the crafts in today's video is using up what you already have, like this carrot wood cutout from the Dollar Tree. And the next DIY, I'm also going to be using some mason jar lids. Again, because I'm kind of working with limited craft supplies until I move and get everything out of the boxes, I'm kind of doing some trash to treasures, just seeing things that I have already around the house without having to go and buy something new and seeing what I can create with it. This one was really simple, and again, I already had those mason jar cans lying around. I used a piece of scrap wood and painted it with my favorite dark brown paint, which is called Burnt Umber by Apple Barrel. And then I went ahead to work painting all of those mason jar lids. Of course, this would have been easier with spray paint, but I didn't have any, so I went in with a white paint and then with an orange paint, and I did have to do about 2 coats of each of those paint colors. Next, I'm starting to line everything up on the wood scrap piece. That is going to be what's holding our mason jar lids. And again, it would have been so nice to pull out my Cricut and write maybe with a cool font some letters that say a harvest, but I just had to go with the Dollar Tree letter stickers. Again, I'm working with what I have here, and this is a great alternative. If you don't have a Cricut, you can still make a really nice craft with some really nice crisp lettering. One of my favorite things to use as the stem on pumpkins when I'm doing fall DIYs are cinnamon sticks. Not only do they smell really good, but I also think they look cute. But if you don't have those already in your kitchen cupboard, you can always just go outside, forage for some sticks, and use those as well. For the moss at the top of our pumpkin, I added some of the Spanish moss from the Dollar Tree. I really like the way it looks. It just reminds me of, I don't know, like a dirtier pumpkin that you would find at the patch. I know Spanish moss doesn't grow on pumpkins, but I think the look is really nice. And again, you're just trying to get that farm vibe, what you would actually see when you go and pick a pumpkin off of the vine. I also made some little curly cues using some green wire and wrapping that just around a paintbrush a couple of times, and then you kind of pull the sprigs apart and you get some really nice curly vines for your pumpkin. And I also pulled a couple of leaves off of a floral pick I had and added those as the final embellishment. Next up, we've got a little bit more of a rustic farmhouse DIY. I really like the primitive style, especially when it comes to fall, because so many fall items like pumpkins, they're going to have dirt on them. And I really just like the darker kind of vibe of these. So I'm using something from nature. It's actually from the Dollar Tree, but it's made to look like it's from nature and it's wood slices. It looks like it is a slice right out of a tree. And I painted one of them and then I used some of this nice plaid scrapbooking paper, cut them out, and hot glued them onto two of the wood rounds. Next is the really fun part because you get to add all of those fun embellishments and you can go wild here, really using whatever you've got. All that I really had were a couple of floral picks and some of this vine. So I went to work on that. I also could not find my cinnamon sticks this day for the life of me, although I do find them a little bit later in the video, so you will see that they are saved. I ended up just using sticks, but I do like the cinnamon pieces a little bit more. I made some more of those curly cues by wrapping the green floral wire around a paintbrush a couple times, then pulling it apart and hot gluing it. And then for a little bit more embellishment on one of them, I added a jute bow. And then on the other, I wrapped some of that floral wire that had the fun little green and the white beads coming off of it onto one of them. And this is when I found the cinnamon sticks, thank goodness, and I hot glued those down just on top of the twigs. And I said it earlier, but I just absolutely love having a little bit of Spanish moss on my pumpkins. It also really adds to the primitive DIY. If you look on Pinterest, just pop in primitive fall DIY. Pretty much anything is going to look like it's dirty with lots of brown paint, or it's going to use a lot of Spanish moss. That's kind of quintessential to making a primitive DIY. So I figured the messier the better. Let's just throw some Spanish moss on there. And then to finish it off, I did really like the little white beads that came on that floral strand. So I added a couple more down onto one of those wood rounds around the Spanish moss area. We're gonna leave the pumpkin DIYs behind for just a moment to step into a couple of apple DIY videos. These are perfect for September, moving into those fall cooler months. I started off with this faux apple that I got at Hobby Lobby. It was $2.99. But all of their fruit was on sale for 50% off, so I got it for a little bit better of a deal. Then I took a wood dowel from the Dollar Tree and just popped that into the top of our apple and went ahead and just cut off some of that excess wood dowel. Now I am making the caramel color. I used the color khaki and a darker brown, both from Apple Barrel, and I'm just swirling those together and adding a good amount of Mod Podge to this. Once I had my caramel color made, I took a brush and started to brush it on the apple. And the reason why I did this is because I wanted to have a clear line of where the caramel started. And then after this dried, you could always go in with a second coat. I did using my brush, but you could also put it in a larger bowl and dip it as if you were making a real caramel apple. The only reason why I used the brush at first is I just found it was a little bit easier to create that line of where the caramel started. But if you would rather dip it into your caramel paint, that works too. I decided to use real crushed nuts on my faux caramel apple, and I will show you in just a moment how I made this basically bug and pest proof so that you don't have to worry about, ants or anything crawling on your faux caramel apple. But I've seen people use the K-cob, which is a small rodent and bird bedding. But when I went to my Walmart, it was $16 for a small bag. So I decided to just go with some real peanuts. So I added on a little bit more layer of the caramel and then just sprinkled the peanuts on and waited until it was dry. After it was dry, I made a bow out of gingham and jute, and then to keep out any bugs and make it look even more like a caramel apple, I took this clear wrap from the Dollar Tree gift wrapping section and just wrapped it around my apple, and then I tied it in place with jute before taking that bow that I made earlier and placing that on too. If you're only displaying the apple for a day or a short period of time, you don't need the wrap, but I personally love the way the clear wrap looks. It wouldn't be a fall DIY if I didn't use a pickup truck in at least one of my crafts. I'm starting off with one of these wood trucks that I found at the Dollar Tree in the Crafters Square section. Definitely pick them up if you see them, they're going to be great for Christmas too. And I painted the entire thing black, then I went in with a little bit of gray paint to distress around the outside areas of the truck and along the wheels. We're going to need something to actually hold the apples in the back of the truck, so I just cut out a small piece of foam core board, and we're going to be laying that down to make the bed of our pickup truck, and I took some black paint and painted it so that it would match. I wanted it to say apples 5 cents on the side of our truck, so I went ahead and cut that out using some vinyl. And then once the bed area of the truck was dried, I went ahead and glued that down before I started stacking some of these really amazing wood apples that were sent to me from my dear friend Teresa B DIY. Thank you so much, Teresa. And I just filled these up kind of haphazardly all along the back bed area of our apple pickup truck. To further embellish the apples, I took a little bit of greenery from some of the floral picks that I have, and I just hot glued them onto the apples so they looked like the apples had some leaves on them. I love the way that the truck came out with the apples in the back, but the great thing is you can change out the apples for Christmas trees for December or peaches for summer. Now we are headed back into the pumpkin DIYs using 2 craft items that I pretty much always have in my craft stash and the Dollar Tree almost always has in stock. Dollar Tree always sells these wood pumpkins. I have seen it year after year for pretty much 5 years now. Since 2020, I have seen these. So I picked one up and I just covered it with some scrap picking paper that is made to look like burlap. I know from the past that the stems are almost impossible to get off unless you're going to cut them off, so I just placed the cinnamon stick on top of it and then I added a couple of burlap patches in the corners. I love the rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree. They always have lots of ones for the fall, lots of different pumpkins, and I do use it on the second part of this DIY. But for this one, I really liked the Happiness is Homemade transfer, so I rubbed that on and then slowly peeled it off. To complete the top of our pumpkin, I added a little bit of Spanish moss and also some greenery that I got from a floral pick and a little bit of that floral vine that I used earlier in the video that has those white and green beads on it. To complete everything, I added one of those curly cues that I make using the green wire and wrapping it around a pen or a pencil, and then I also added a raffia bow with a button in the center. For the second part of this pumpkin DIY, I didn't even realize it, but I'm using another Easter supply. These are the bunny bags. They also come out with pumpkin ones in the fall too, so you might be able to pick them up so you don't have to go looking through your craft stash. And again, I don't have any polyfill, so I'm just using some shopping bags and stuffing those down into the bunny bag. I did pull the bunny bag so it was inside out, so the bunny face was on the inside, and I will be tucking in those ears at the top. I wasn't sure if the rub-on transfers worked on fabric, but they do. You have to rub a little bit harder, but they do work, and they are a lot easier and faster than using iron-on vinyl. So I really recommend them. I wasn't sure if they were going to work, but love that they did. Then I stuffed the bags back down in there and placed a cinnamon stick in the center and then tied everything up with some jute. Then I wanted this DIY to be a little bit more primitive or rustic, so I grabbed some of this fabric, cut just a little bit, and then tore the rest of it in half so you get that nice ripped look, and tied that twice around the top of our stuffed pumpkin. Then after I had that how I wanted it, I had a couple extra pieces of burlap, so I cut another burlap patch out and hot glued that to the bottom. And then up at the top, I added the Spanish moss again, Like I said, I love this look, especially for those more primitive style DIYs. I also had one of these rustic looking stars that I loved, so I hot glued that to the center so it kind of looks like it's holding together those fabric tails. I had a bunch of leaves that I tore off some floral picks for the earlier DIYs, so I cut it a little bit smaller, so I think it worked a little bit better for this one. And then I hot glued it up at the top. And again, to fit more of that primitive style, I went in with some dark brown paint and just went all around the edges and the center very, very lightly though on both of these pumpkins. I hope that you enjoyed all of the fall DIYs in today's video. I will be back next week with even more fall DIYs. Till then, keep searching, keep creating.